Welcome back to Patman Garage. We're going to do some daily driver maintenance and get oil change knocked out. We recently added the Raptor skid plate under the transmission. So oil pan access might be a little bit different than previous. So we'll jump into this and take a look and see what we got. Okay, so first things first, we're going to check our oil level. Now, ooh, got a little dirt dauber nest. How about that? We're going to do oil level check. The truck is cold. We have not driven it in a couple days. We are a little bit low, as probably expected on this truck. We'll do a quick wipe off and check it one more time. And here's the second pull. And yeah, we are just below the lower dot. So we're definitely in the fill range. This truck has a little bit over 5,000 miles on the oil, and I believe I've added 1 quart. We're going to leave that up, and yeah, we can double check the maintenance, but I'm pretty sure we added 1 quart and we're still down about 1.5 quarts. But we will jump into getting the oil change done here, and we also need to check the catch can while we're in here as well. But for now, we got the engine bay topside taken care of. We'll get underneath the truck and see what our skid plate looks like. I've got the service pan removed. That has the service pan removed here. That's the access panel in the skid plate. It has 3 10mm bolts holding it in place. And honestly, man, I'm really not seeing a way to get a great shot at the drain plug. So the drain plug's there. When I look up through the access port, all I see is the sway bar right here. And I can see the drain plug. I can kind of get my hand on it, but I really think I'm just going to go ahead and pull the skid plate out just to make my life a little bit easier. I also have a new Dorman drain plug we're going to check out as well. So I think just for at least for this first video with the new drain plug, we're going to go and pull the skid plate completely out, and that'll just give us more room. So more room to work under here. So here's the entirety of the skid plate, and it's long enough to the rear that I don't really have access forward to get to the drain pan either. So we'll go ahead and pop this guy back off. I think these were 15mm bolts on this sides here. We'll pop this out and get back into doing the oil change here. Alright, skid plate removed. Skid plate removed, we got a lot more visibility here. Now the drain plug itself is still kind of in a stupid location. I do still have my special tool that I can install in here. That's the PVC pipe with the slash cut in it. So we'll get that guy out of the toolbox and get the oil started to drain, and then we can take a look at the new Dorman drain plug and see if that may solve some problems for us. Okay, so what we normally do here is take our channel locks, and we're just gonna crack this dude open just a touch, just to make sure we're loose, about like that. And then we can take our special tool, which is just a PVC pipe with a slot cut in it, and that guy will go in like so. That will allow us to hold the drain plug in position. So that will allow us to hold the drain plug in position while we are draining, and holds the drain plug up against the cooler. So I'm going to get this set up and start draining, and I'll show you what it looks like here. Okay, got it draining, and move some tools out of the way here, but it just kind of rests on the ledge of the transmission oil cooler there, and just holds the drain plug in place. Now that keeps you from draining all over your sway bar and dumping it really quickly. So that's the current workaround that we use, and it's not super fast, but it is controlled. Now this is my original from the factory drain plug. The truck has 70,000 miles on it, something like that. We'll check in a minute, but truck's 2018, so it's a 7-year-old drain plug. Ford recommends replacing that every time. I have yet to replace it because I've yet to have a problem with it. But anyways, we'll jump up to, while this is draining out here. We will jump back up top and take a look at that new Dorman drain plug. Now, for some unexplained reason, I have 2 drain plugs, special tools that I made. Now, I presume this is probably because at one point I had one at home and one at work, but no longer working in a tech environment in a shop, so I guess both of them made their way home. But like I said, let's take a look at this Dorman drain plug here. So there's my special tool, secondary one of them still under the truck draining. And this is the new Dorman special tool that I picked up, or new drain plug I picked up, I should say. Here's your part number, 097826HPCD. So this has the outer body is the same as the Ford drain plug, and then it has a internal miniature drain off that allows the oil to come straight down instead of coming out the back end, or actually I guess coming out here. So we'll get this thing opened up here and we'll take a look and see what this thing looks like in person in our hand, and then we'll see how well it fits in the truck. And then in 5,000 miles we'll find out how well it works. All right, and here's our installation instructions. Obviously, the drain plug can go in 2 different ways. So the first one is make sure that the drain spout is facing down. Well, obviously, but yeah, interesting. It's like a drain plug inside of a drain plug. Kind of feel like a little bit of a Pimp My Ride exhibit, if you know what I mean. I heard your drain plug's like drain plugs, so we put an extra one in there for you. But yeah, we'll get this thing installed in the truck here in a little bit and see how we like it. Now, my hope for this guy, I was hoping that there was going to be a little, plastic nipple that stuck off the end of this thing. Obviously, it would have been a little bit more manufacturing, but if that was the case, if I had an actual nipple on here, similar to like a radiator drain cock, I could actually install a hose on this thing and route the oil away from my drain, or from my skid plate. So, future Patrick might actually end up picking another one of these up, so we can modify and add a spout on the end of this thing where we can attach a hose to it. We'll see. Because in a perfect world, I could just leave a hose attached all the time under the truck, and then I just pop off that skinny service panel, reach in from the side with a screwdriver, pop this thing open, let it drain out, and then just tighten it back up, and then I won't ever have to pull that skid plate off again. So we'll see. If I have enough free time to play with that, I might do that in the future. We'll see. The tricky part is going to be matching this curvature and not getting whatever epoxy glue into the threads of the internals. I'm going to sleep on that one. We'll think about it. My curiosity got the best of me, and I went ahead and popped this out just because I want to see what it looked like fully removed, especially if I might be doing something in the future to make this less accessible. But yeah, basically it's just a little bitty drain plug inside of the body of the bigger drain plug. And clever little design. So when you back this off, it says 2 turns maximum, so it would be somewhere in, goodness gracious. So it would be somewhere in this position when you're draining oil, and that just allows you to have oil come through the middle and then out here without coming out the backside. Although it doesn't look like there's really, other than the threads itself, which are kind of loose on the back end, it doesn't look like there's a great sealing path to keep oil from flowing outward. I guess just gravity, but we'll see how this actually performs in the real world once we get this thing ready for its next oil change. And I would not do any justice to YouTube comparison videos if I don't have the old one sitting next to the new one. So they do look very, very, very similar in design, at least shape and all that. So we'll get this new guy installed and see. Like I said, we'll see how this goes long term. I'm curious. All right, so we got the new one installed. It does appear that the orientation of the spout itself is maybe slightly favored towards the passenger side. Not sure why, but it does look like it's fully installed. I did also want to make note that if you are installing it, this is about a half a turn drain plug, so you want to make sure that the spout is in the upward direction, or almost about 1 o'clock direction whenever you start it, and then it should be facing downward whenever you get it tightened up. So yeah, a little goofy. I feel like it almost should have been tightened up more than that. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. And while we're doing show and tell, I might as well show you my mobile handheld drain pan, which is just a old 5-quart jug with the side of it cut off. Obviously you can't do like a whole lot of fluid in it, because even if you put a cap on, you still wouldn't necessarily trust that long term. But for just catching random little drips, or if you pull out an oil filter and it's kind of dripping a little bit, that's the go-to guy right there. And it actually is super easy to clean out because it has a spout on the end of it instead of like a regular pan. But anyways, we got a new filter. We're gonna get the new filter slid under the truck and get it installed real quick. All right, and I would give you the part number for my Matco funnel with the multi valve cover adapters, but they don't make this anymore, so it doesn't do me any good to part share that one. But we're gonna get this oil filled back up. I already have 1 quart out of my new jug put in here. We're gonna just keep adding oil. And I've got there should be about 3 quarts in it at the moment. So I'm gonna just slide back under the truck, and we're gonna take a look at that drain plug and make sure we're not just dumping everywhere and making a big mess. So the verdict is, yes, we are nice and dry underneath here. So we should be good to continue adding oil and get the skid plate put back in here as well. And then this bottle should be the full 5 quarts going in here. Let's see how well I can do that one-handed. Now normally I would pour it on its side so it doesn't glob like that, but we're gonna make it work. All right, and if you're like me, you have to put the old oil back in the jugs that it came out of, so we can get it recycled at the local parts store. Again, this is another benefit of having a second little drain pan. You can, when your funnel's dripping or your drain pan itself is dripping, you can kind of consolidate your drips into one place. And then, like I said, we were draining the filter. This particular pan has a little bit of a grooved bottom, so it actually works out really well for draining that filter out, so we don't have more drips there. So we're gonna get the rest of the fluid, the old oil, put into the other jug, and then we'll get this thing cleaned up. And last but not least, we'll see how much oil is in the catch can. So I went ahead and unthreaded it here. Gotta pull it out. It's a tight squeeze in here with my big old hands. So there's a little bit in there, not bad. I've never had a whole lot of actual material caught in the catch can, which makes me feel better overall about my oil consumption issues here. I'm gonna set this guy down, and we'll see how much we have actually in here. Not much, and it does look a little bit watery, so it's good that it's catching that out of the PCV system. And yeah, we'll get this catch can back installed and be done for the day. We'll reset the maintenance light, and then we'll actually be done. All right, now I use trip B to track my oil change. So we'll write down these numbers in the book and come right back here. All right, so we're gonna reset this page, and we're also gonna go to our maintenance mode here. Also write down my idle hours and run hours too, just because I like keeping track of that. Obviously, we're not resetting anything on that page. And I am really proud that my idle hours is way under 10% of my runtime. One thing I actually strive to do is not idle the truck, so that's pretty impressive there. And we'll go to our life, 33%. We're gonna go and reset that guy as well. Now, one of the things that you'll notice is as I've been driving the truck less, my percentage, even though it's been right at 5,000 miles, the percentage has been very low because Ford also calculates time in their intervals as well. So even though this was 14% with 5,000 miles on it, if you look at the dates between oil changes, it was about 10 months worth of time. And so that's why that percentage is so low, because we were really close to that 1 year mark on the oil change. So in this case, we went about 8 months on this oil change, and we were at 33% at 5,000 miles. So anyways, just want to show you. And I did, and also to finish my train of thought from the beginning of the video, I did add 1 quart of oil at 69,000 miles. Nice. So yep, that's what's going on with the maintenance book. We'll get this put back away and we'll wrap up on the video here. So not a bad day of maintenance out in the garage. Overall, probably could have been a lot faster without the skid plate, or if I have a more thorough design for that in the future, we'll see. I may end up modifying the skid plate, may end up modifying the drain plug. Hadn't made up my mind of what I want to do with that yet, but we're still adapting and learning as we go here, as always. And I'm just here to share the experience along with you guys. So I appreciate y'all checking out another video of mine, and I'll catch you in the next one.